Nebraska beats up an overmatched Houston Christian team 59-7. Do we have a quarterback controversy? One of the guys on the game thread said, "Don't you start that." And I thought, why not? Why not? Why? I mean, it is nice to know that looking at this game that we do have what looks like to be a very competent backup quarterback in TJ Lateef, or Lafitte, or today he proved himself to be Lair, with that beautiful, absolutely beautiful in-stride, what is this, 62-yard touchdown to Cortez Mills. It was a gorgeous ball. Okay, positives out of this game. I mean, there was positives. It's a win. We get to 3-0. It wasn't really any question about whether or not it was going to be an ass-kicking. I think I saw Carricker say this is a mindset game. Yes, it probably is. I mean, they looked a little flat. They came out in the first. They didn't score. They had to kick a field goal. Nice thing about that is you don't have to hold your breath on field goals like that anymore. You don't have to go, I think this snap's going to go over his head and the other team's going to run for a touchdown, that kind of crap. Special teams looks like it's pretty well cleaned up except for the kicking out of bounds thing. Dylan Raiola had that one pass that was long, that was underthrown. People said it was windy, and that might have caused a problem. But Lateef, the guy who maybe should be starting, that guy didn't have any problems throwing the ball down the field. I don't know if the wind was less later. We could start come on, you want to start? That'd be fun. There really wasn't that much point in playing this game today, and it really honestly bothered me throughout the game. And I didn't really get the enjoyment out of this game because of that. Was it an ass kicking? Yeah, I expected it to be an ass kicking. I mean, we're basically playing a team that has started their football program in 2014, I think it was. Body bag game, pay game, whatever you want to call them. If you'll notice at the beginning of this game, Houston Christian did about everything they could to get this game over. I mean, they ran the ball over and over and over. They waited the clock ran all the way down to snap the ball on most plays. That's what I saw. What other positives? It's probably positive because we saw so many players play. We have 3 quarterbacks with statistics. I don't know how many, 8 rushers, and let's see what the official stats, 11 receivers. A lot of guys got to play. And I suppose if this is your way of keeping people happy so they don't transfer, I can see that as being an excuse. But listen, Nebraska shouldn't be playing these games. We absolutely should not be playing these games. Because this isn't about today. This is about the next 3 years. And you look at the next 3 years, our non-conference schedule is kind of crap. And we canceled the scheduled series with Tennessee, home and homes, because, we wanted 8 home games because we're doing stadium renovation and we needed the money. Oh, come on. Whatever bullshit that is. Number one, you're not going to probably be able to do stadium renovation until you actually get into something like the college football playoff, because I imagine the donors are sick of giving you money for mediocre results. Listen, we've moved into the magical Matt Rule 3rd year. My expectations are way up here, where my ceiling is, the second story in my house is. My standards are way up there, because that's what I've been told. And when I look at the Nebraska team, I think we have a pretty good team. Unfortunately, you're not going to prove it to anybody by playing Houston Christian or an Akron. And if you're one of those people that's going to say, well, Michigan played Central Michigan today, and Indiana played Indiana State. Well, okay, what do you want your program to be? I know my answer to that question, but I'd like to hear you in the comments answer that question. What do you want your program to be? Because I'll tell you what the difference between Nebraska and Michigan is. Michigan plays Central Michigan because they have what we don't, which is benefit of the doubt. They won a national title recently. Cheating bastards. But they have the benefit of the doubt, something we used to have years ago, and we get ranked whether we deserved it or not. We got players put on watch lists, whether we deserved to be there or not. And for a long time, the media did that because we were blue blood. And we deserved it. And now we're not. Are we a blue blood? Well, I think that answer is different if you ask me versus a non-Nebraska guy. I think a lot of people would look at us and say, no, you're not, because you sucked for too long. And you don't get any of that respectability back by playing a Houston Christian or the schedules where we're going to play in the next 3 years. Stadium renovation or not, come on, my God, you're not that broke. Put it this way, if right today we were playing Tennessee, I know they're playing Georgia right now, but if we were playing Tennessee right now and we happen to lose that game, do you think that'd do more respectability for us than if we played Houston Christian and blew them out? That's the problem. And the real problem with that is going into the rest of the football season, do I think we have a team that can go 10-2? Yeah, with the right breaks. I think we have a pretty good looking football team. Better than it's looked in a long time. You know, the other positive about this game is we used to struggle with teams like this, and we didn't. We haven't struggled the last 2 weeks. Kind of disappointing they lost the shutout, but I wasn't really, you know, I think coming out of anything performative out of this game it's a waste of time. I know that we have so many, we're blessed, being obnoxious. We're blessed with so many podcasts and YouTube channels for Nebraska, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to be saying things like, why isn't Dylan Royal getting any national recognition? Well, because we played Houston Christian, for God's sake. And we don't have the benefit of the doubt. That's what we're missing. And you have to, again, the hill to climb that back up that is, it's hard. We're going to have to be not just good, we're going to be better than good. I was going to say earlier, the problem with us, you know, playing a team like this in Akron, because they were god-awful, is a team like LSU. Let's say we both go 9-3, Nebraska 9-3, LSU 9-3. And it's up in the air about who gets into the college football playoff. Well, didn't LSU play Notre Dame or somebody to start the year out? They played somebody big, won. And we played Cincinnati. Maybe Cincinnati turned out to be a really good team. People would be impressed by them, but you get the point. Your schedule is going to help you try to get into the college football playoff. And where do you want your program to be? I know what I want. I've done a few takes, so I might be getting redundant. I want our program to be in the top 10 on a regular basis, like it used to be. I want us to be a team that's constantly in the college football playoff conversation. And again, you're not going to get that by playing teams like this. And you're not going to get that out of our next 3 years non-conference schedule, whether they need the money because they're so fucking broke or not. You know, respectability has to be earned. Dylan Raiola, I mean, he looks good. Completion rating, what was his completion percentage? 71, a little bit lower than it's been. Oh my God, fire him, whatever. TJ Lateef, who could be our starting quarterback, was 5 for 5 for 100% completion rating and ended up with a 377.7 quarterback rating, which is kind of out of this world. Penalties, we had 4 for 45. They had 9 for 71. I'm sure their coach is not happy with that. But, again, they were trying to make the game just get over. The thing about this is, one more thing about the scheduling. Big Ten Media Days, Kirk Cignetti, Indiana coach, came out, and they're playing crap in the non-conference. And he made the joke, well, I'm just following the SEC scheduling format. Well, that's great, because the SEC since then has decided, after years everybody bitching at them, that they're moving to a 9-game conference schedule, and they're asking their schools to play one Power 4 opponent a year. So what's that give them? A big edge up on scheduling. Right after the College Football Playoff Committee has announced that scheduling, strength of record, whatever bullshit phrase that is, but it means strength and who you're playing, that's going to weigh in to it. And what's the Big Ten's response to it? It isn't to go out and tell their schools, hey, you guys should play better schedules, because if you looked all around, there was pretty crappy games throughout the Big Ten today. Only Minnesota is playing a really decent opponent, Cal, tonight. But what do you want your program to be? That's the question. Do you want a quarterback controversy? I don't know. We're 3-0. We're heading into Michigan. We're going to know a lot about this team because I really don't think we know much about them at all so far. We know that they're a hell of a lot better than they were, but are they ready to compete on what's going to appear to be the national stage? You know, we know what Michigan's going to do. They're going to do what Michigan does. They're going to run the ball at us. Are we going to be ready to stop that, or is our offense going to be good enough to move the ball and keep the ball, you know, keep possession of the ball so that we score? And can we score in the red zone against Michigan? We know we can make field goals now. That's different. It's going to be fun. But, you know, for anything to really come out of this game, other than a quarterback controversy, I don't think there's much. It's a win. We're 3-0. Go on with your lives and have a good week. Love you all. Thank you for the support for Corn Nation and our channel. And, you know, watch our other shows and go Big Red. There's hope.